I'm recording on a new iPad, and I just realized that the first couple of minutes I recorded on time lapse, so everything was speeded up and recorded without any audio. So this first part I just tried to punt and do voiceovers, and at the mark 2:21 I got it fixed. Hi, welcome back. Today I'm working on the rest of this two-page spread in this Dylusions journal. I did the background in a previous video and thought I would finish it up for you today. So I found this image on Pixabay.com and I thought she went well with the background as far as the coloring and everything. I liked the image, so I fussy cutted her out and put her down on the page with matte medium. I created an additional circle for the right hand page to hinge over the circle that I had painted on. So I just took a piece of black cardstock and sandwiched it in between a piece of book text and a piece of brown paper bag that was punched in the same size, and then hinged it with a piece of black cardstock so it would cover the circle, and then I pasted the words in that I found on Pixabay. Next, I just added a couple more phrases that I found on Pixabay. They were all part of the same image, and I just cut them apart and applied them to the page. Now I'm using Dina Wakley's Funky Silhouette stencils and masks. I chose 3 masks and decided where I wanted to put them, and I'm going to use Tim Holtz Distress Crayons and just go around them with a watered down mixture of the purple here, as you see me doing, and it's too light and I don't like it, so I wipe it away. So I put the mask back where it was and decided to go around it with a charcoal pencil. So I just went around it a couple of times and then took a wet baby wipe and just kind of distressed it back and smeared it out until I got it to the point where I liked the way it looked. Now I went back to the distressed crayon, this one with an orange color, and just scribbled some inside of that mask and moved it around with some just plain water on my brush until I got the intensity and look that I liked. So that I liked, so I went ahead and did the next one in a purple color, a green color, and then I did the last one with purple. Okay, I'm happy with this. This seems a little bare to me. I'm not quite sure what, if anything, I will do there, but I did want to put some leaves, so maybe I'll just bring those over there when I do that. So, and I think I fixed my camera. I think I was recording in time lapse, so everything was fast and had no sound. So anyways, I am hoping, I don't know if you can see this, I sketched it in chalk, and I'm just going to see, oh yeah, this will work. So I'm using the GellyRoll pen, and I am going to bring this branch or tree over that figure. It doesn't want to go over those crayons. And I'm just going to scribble it in here. It writes over the chalk just fine. I may have to take some paint or something else in front of this figure because of the crayon. Just doesn't want to. I'm going to end up clogging up my pen if I keep trying, so I'm not going to. Little thicker down here. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna grab my fine liner and see if I can't just put some. Okay, I'm just going to take my fine liner and go across there. And kind of drag it. We'll just go over this whole thing, I guess. And give it a little dimension anyways. Got the shakes. I had too much coffee. Little. Okay, I'm going to dry this and then we'll add some leaves. Okay, I'm going to try to use my Copics to put some leaves on just so they're not real opaque. Still let some of that background kind of show through. Okay, that's good, but I'm going to add some white to those. GellyRoll will write over the alcohol ink, not sure. Yeah, maybe it will. I'm just going to outline these a bit, and I'm not even going to be particular about being real exact because of the green in the background. It'll be just fine if some of the green is outside the white lines. Okay, I think I got them all. I like that. And that did it. Filled in this area well. I like that. Now I'm going to go back to my Stabilo and I'm just going to hit the edges of this book page paper so that I can get a little shading on there. I think it'll help it merge better with the rest of the page. Kind of push it back a little bit. I did go over it with matte medium, so it should be okay and not mess up the paper. And if you watch the other video, I'll put it in the card. You know that I already went around this with Stabilo when I first put it down. But I think I'm going to just go around it again now that we have that hinged piece on there. Just to give it a little more shadow around the edges. So that the shadow shows from, ooh, that's too wet, so that the shadow shows from the front when the hinge is closed. And a little more on the side, and so I kind of washed it away. It's wet there, so it's just not wanting to stay very well. I may have to come back later and add some more if I want some more, because, well, I didn't want that. Alright, I'm going to leave it for now until it dries more. Yeah, that did add some shadow around there though. Maybe it'll be okay as it is. It's still pretty wet in there. And I'm just gonna lighten up the metal there. I like that. And I'm going to take my Pitt pen, black medium point, and just make some scribbles around these words a little bit. I'm going to take my fineliner again. And each little scallop I'm just going to add a dot. I think that went on the inside layer, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to add some lines in here. Just some random lines there. And I don't want to really do anything else with those mask figures. I just want them to kind of sit in the background a little bit. So the only thing left is to do is her. And I think I'm going to get the watercolors out. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm just using my small koi watercolors. And I mixed up a mixture of cobalt blue and vermilion hue. I probably should have used Crimson Lake. I had a little trouble. It kept wanting to get muddy because that's a little too orange. But I think I have a nice color that will go with this, and I'm just going to highlight a bit around the edges of these flowers. With this purpley, it's kind of a grayed out purple. I'm going to add a little more blue to that. I'm going to add some Crimson Lake into this and warm it up a little bit. Just a little too gray. That's better, I think. But I just want a real soft look to this. Added just a tad more red. Into there. I like to do this when I find an image that I want to use, and then I can go over it with added color markers, whatever I feel like the piece needs, rather than just be satisfied with the color it came in. And deepen up where it already is purple a little more. And I'm not going to do a ton. I am going to go over this bluish color with this purple though, just to kind of bring that a little more in line with what colors we have going on here already. It may or may not do anything, but I'm doing it anyway. And bring a little bit out onto that circle. And now I'm just going to deepen this up some. And I'm going to go around the whole thing once I get this mixed to where it's really granulating. I have a color I want to use. I'm just going to darken up around the edges here. And kind of bring her into the page a little bit more. So I just want to just darken up around the outside of the image. And go over that plaster a little bit. And just basically just kind of scribbling it into the background behind her, around her. And come in onto some of these flower petals a little bit. And I talked about Pixabay a little bit in the first part of this series when I was doing the background. And if you haven't watched that and you want to see how I did the background, the video will be linked. But Pixabay is a copyright-free resource for images that you can download and resize and recolor and use in your collage and art journaling. There's illustrations, photographs, just about anything you might want to use, you probably can find there. So it's Pixabay.com, and I'll leave the link below. And that's a little better. I'm not sure I like this right here where it cuts across that figure. I thought I was going to like it, but not crazy about it. So I will probably do some doodling inside of that one. Oh, by the way, this is the Silver Black Velvet number 6. It's an excellent watercolor brush. It just always keeps a point really, really well. So I love this brush. So that's all I'm doing with the watercolor, I believe. I may go back to my... I was going to grab the Fineliner, but I think I will grab the GellyRoll here. And I think that's dry enough there. I am going to just doodle across here within this figure to so it's not so obvious that it cut across the center right here. And just kind of do this. See if that doesn't help. That's those crayons again. It doesn't. It is writing better on top of those crayons now that they've dried a bit more, but not great. But it's, yeah, I think that helps. I do think that helps. So, keeping with that, I think I'm just gonna make some random, or not, marks on this one too. That one doesn't want to take the pen very well. That was where we had trouble before when trying to do the tree. And maybe this one just needs some circles inside. Wasn't planning on doing this, but that's kind of how things go for me. One thing leads to another, and another, and another, and another. Which is fine. It's a fun way to work for me. I like it. Just kind of let the art tell me what it wants to be. And then I just kind of go with it. So, okay. Yeah, I like that better. That's good. I think I'm almost done here. I'm going to go around the edges of the page with Stabilo, I guess. Good old Stabilo. Gotta unclip this. This one page was really curled up, so I had it clipped down. But I'm just going to run this around the edge and just smear it with my finger, I think. Maybe we'll get some water on my finger. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Doesn't need to be real watery, but get water on one area and then tap my finger off, and then it just kind of, I can carry it from one area to the next in case I had it too wet there for a second. I'm just going to wet my pencil this time. Sometimes that gives you a little more control. I don't even know if this is in frame, but I'm just going around the edge here and drag it down a little bit. Got a little tear in the top of that page. I'm not sure when that happened. Oh, my iPad fell. Yeah. It's been an interesting video day for sure. First I record the first half of this on time lapse and can't figure out why it's going so fast. Then I'm adjusting my iPad, and I dropped it. Freaked out for a moment. Hopefully it will continue to work. It's working now, so yay. I'm going to get this dark around the edges, and I think I'm going to call it done. Maybe. Seems like there's always one more thing. It's like, oh, well, maybe I'll do XYZ. All part of the play, isn't it? I just feel so fortunate to be able to do what I like to do. Flinging water off my pencil all over my table. And this was why I wasn't real worried about the edges when I did the background, because I knew I was going to come in with this at the end and just darken everything up. And it just works well, always works well. Brings everything together. So I think I'm going, yeah, like I said, always one more thing. I'm going to go with my small Pitt pen, and I'm just going to play with her eyes a little bit. And give her some eyelashes. Just darken up the outline of her eyes, maybe around the iris. Darken in her pupil a little. Give her eyes a little life. She seemed a little dull, so that always helps. Just little exaggerated eyelashes. Yep, that helped. Give her a little highlight. And there goes my dog barking at the neighbor's dog. Probably have to go get him. Okay, I think it's done. I might come back and do some more. You never know. This I kind of covered up with the white. Let me get that back in there. There's always a danger when you smear white with your finger, because you smear white with your finger. That's better. Okay. And finally, I just dropped in a little bit of that purple watercolor there and went around the words a little bit with the Pitt pen just to give a little more dimension and detail inside of there. And then on the brown paper bag, I just used the orange Distress crayon and activated it with water and then just tapped my brush into it. So that is that. Oh, and I smeared that when I did that, so that's okay with me. So now it is done, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.